Hey, Performance Reviews, where I give you the review from the technician's point of view. And today I want to talk about the best and worst of 2025, as it is now January 2026. I'm going to go over some of the best and the worst machines that I tried and that I've seen come out on the market that I have experience with. First up, let's just get into central vacuums. There were two new central vacuums released by VacuFlo, the MX3500 and the DB10 Max. The MX3500, I have not done a video on this thing yet, but it's super powerful and it's compact. So where a lot of central vacuums are really big, this is compact. Now, you do sacrifice a little bit of capacity, but it has a built-in muffler, and this is great for smaller houses, especially the stuff we have around Denver, some of these new compact modern things. So this will fit in a lot of tight spaces and still has the power to retract a hose. Really like this. Think this is absolutely the best central vacuum of 2025. Now, an honorable mention is the DB10. The DB10 is a dual motor for the opposite. It's for your mansion, your 10,000 plus square foot house. It's a two motor unit. It's big. It requires professional installation. Wonderful unit, but it just wasn't as impressive. It was just as we thought, standard VacuFlo unit, it's kind of middle of the road. But particularly, like I said, the MX3500 actually stole the spotlight here. So that is the best new central vacuum of the two new central vacuums that came out in 2025. And it is surprising that in an industry that innovates so many other things, that MD, the new owners of Beam, which is this big conglomerate, they haven't come out with anything new for 2025, but VacuFlo does, and VacuFlo is like top tier in terms of technology and innovating the vacuum field. So let's move on to the best cordless vacuum that I tested this year, and that was the Levoit 300. Why this machine has small capacity, it is a cordless, bagless thing. I think this is probably the best value proposition of the cordless vacuums I tested. I'll put a link below that benefits the channel, so if you're trying to find a dealer or you're trying to just find a product like this Levoit, there'll be a link in the description box below. But this Levoit had decent suction, decent power, and decent filtration. Again, this is kind of a disposable vacuum category, but I thought this was the best of 2025. Now, I wanted to do a runner-up. I also thought the Miele HX1 was a good answer from Miele, who's usually stubborn, to the industry trends. It's Dyson-shaped, it has a decent battery life, it has good filtration, it has a great nozzle. This is better than the Levoit, but this is in a higher price category, and again, it's a mid-tier machine. It's nothing special, but it's nothing terrible either, so this would be my runner-up. Even though I prefer stuff made in Germany, I prefer stuff like this, I still think the Levoit's probably a better value, and that kind of pains me to say as much as I like Miele. But if you're looking for one that's repairable, the Miele probably has that over the Levoit. So that brings me to the worst cordless vacuum that I tested this year, and that is the Dyson V9. The Dyson V9, again, middle-of-the-road product, but lacked on power and kind of some features, like in terms of like just being able to switch it on. You still have to hold the trigger. So why the V9's an answer to Dyson's weight problem, because the Dysons continue to get heavier and bulkier. Dyson V9 was an answer to that, but they for some reason decided to program it to have less power than the rest of the Dyson lineup, and that really showed in my review and when I was using it. That is definitely the worst of the cordless machines I tested this year. Even on sale, the V9, you can't justify the price. The Levoit is better, and then when the V9's not on sale, the Miele beats it out. The V9 is the worst of 2025 in terms of cordless vacuums. Let's get into the best overall vacuum that got released in 2025. This is going to be a little bit of a controversy, but there is a lack of development on portable vacuums in general right now, particularly here in the US. We don't get some of the more innovative brands. So Miele came out with the L1 Guard, which is quieter than their previous generations, uses recycled material, and in my opinion, looks a lot better. However, it retains most of the same features, high filtration, the same EBK 360 nozzle. It is probably my top pick for 2025 going into 2026. That being said, it's controversial because a lot of people felt that the C3 was somehow better, even though the L1 has improvements in every category except for one, which is attachments. The L1 guard in the US, due to it having an electric power nozzle, has kind of a weird set of onboard attachments that don't really match the hose that was given to us in the US. So the attachments aren't as good as the outgoing C3 in terms of like your hand tool. We mean like crevice tool, upholstery, dusting brush. Now all those things can be purchased separately, and you can use the old attachments with the new machine, but they're not on board. So that's the con with the L1 from Miele. The other con I would say with the L1 from Miele is they only have 2 models that do carpet. So a lot of people are going to buy the cat and dog version of the L1, which I'm going to go ahead and say is the worst canister vacuum to get released in 2025, because the L1 cat and dog doesn't do wall-to-wall carpet, which is a big miss here in the United States. And a lot of people are going to buy this, try to use it on their wall-to-wall carpet, and be severely disappointed that a $900 machine isn't going to work on their carpet. So if you're looking for a Miele, definitely go see your local dealer. The Miele L1 guard with the SEB 228 nozzle is my best overall pick for 2025. Going into 2026, that's probably the Miele you want to purchase if you're going to get something from this brand. 2025 was also an interesting year for auto mops or hard floor cleaners, 3-in-1 all-ones, whatever you want to call them. High Zero completely redid their product line. Hoover also completely redid their product line. Tyneco released some high-end options, but continued making their same low-end options. Now, I say this is interesting because I haven't had a chance to test really any of these ones I've talked about. High Zero's been making basically the same product, and they kind of streamlined the process a little bit. I'd be willing to bet if I was going to do one of the ones that released, which was late this year, I would probably put one of the High Zero, the F300, the F600 in this category if I had to guess. But I wouldn't be surprised if the Tyneco stole its slot. Tyneco is really all out, try hard from China. So is High Zero. So be curious to see which one of those would actually be the best. I'll have to do a video comparing the two some point in the future. If you have something you want us to test, definitely comment below. I would love to hear about it. If you can send it to us, even better. I do want to just address an elephant in the room, which is robotic vacuums. I don't rate robotic vacuums. I don't deal with them. They are a completely different division than the rest of the vacuum industry, and a lot of times they don't do parts or have dealership networks that coincide with the rest of the vacuum industry. So I leave the cheap disposable products to others. We're not going to be talking about those in this video. Sorry to disappoint. I'm also seeing kind of a disturbing trend of Tyneco, now Shark, getting into the carpet cleaning industry. And the problem with that is these machines usually don't have enough power, and you can tell just by the pictures these don't have the tank capacity to clean more than a room at a time, if half a room. So these units seem like they're even worse than some of the other ones, but they're priced $323, $393. These are at the same level as just buying a Rug Doctor or a Bissell Big Green machine, which you absolutely should do, and go check out my review on the Big Green machine. That is a better machine, dollar per dollar, every day of the week. I guess some people are also going to want me to mention Recar, quote unquote, came out with some new machines, but they're really just rebranding and recoloring of existing machines. It's hard for me to call them new. They also brought in a stick vacuum from China that they bought off Alibaba and had their name put on. So they're a mention, but really nothing new. I doubt we'll see a actual new vacuum from them anytime soon, considering they no longer have an engineering department and they've closed 2/3 of their US factory. And there's really nothing wrong with a company becoming an importer or a gray market importer in this case. What is wrong is they parade themselves as US made or a step above the other Chinese products when they're really just on the same level as Hoover. So that's really just the thing to mention about Recar, is they're kind of priced themselves in a different category than they're actually in. Now, going into January 2026, I hope to see lots of innovation and new things from the vacuum industry. I don't want to see more gray market importing or flops. We really like to see good machines, and I really like to do videos that are going to be on machines worth your money. However, we are Performance Reviews. We're not sponsored, except by Patreon. Want to thank our Patreon supporters who help make videos like this happen. There's a link below if you love what we're doing and you want to support us. They get early access, they get exclusive videos, and they just overall help our channel. Other ways you can help our channel besides Patreon, feel free to repost this somewhere in your favorite vacuum group, something like that. Thanks for watching. Have yourself a wonderful day.